Josh Green here for SecondsOut with Josh Warrington, RAF District. Josh, just first of all, tell me how you're training and what the regime's been like leading up to the fight.
Training has always been intense, always is intense. Been a lot more technical this time round, working a lot more on game plans, whereas we didn't do much in the last camp, which it's been a little bit more structured, a little bit more focused on certain areas. But I could harp on about it all day. I think you'll see on October 12th when the performance comes.
And just reflect on winning the British Boxing Board, obviously the fight of the year against Carl Frampton. It's a great accolade for you. Yeah,
massive accolade. I mean, I have some sparring sessions, what I like fights a year, honestly, unbelievable sparring sessions, and I have over the years with many different fighters, but I've always done what I've just needed to do to win the fights. But that fight with Carl, it was a chance to really let go and give everything, and fight two of the best, fight for the best bauble in boxing, the world title makes it that bit more special. So it was an honour to share the ring with him, and it's obviously a nice trophy for the mantelpiece.
And just moving on to the fight next week, of course, was it a little bit frustrating for you that there wasn't somebody better on offer to face?
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of folk, a lot of fans are saying, fucking hell, why is he fighting this guy? You know, he's boxed Selby, he's boxed Frampton, he's boxed Galahad, why is he fighting this guy? And probably expecting a big name, but we couldn't get the big name made, we couldn't get it done in time, so I have to keep busy. It's the biggest win we could have got. You know, other fighters did get asked the question, I didn't want it or couldn't make it for whatever reason, so Takoucht jumps at the chance. He's there in front of me. He's an opponent, and I've just got to look on winning the fight and putting on a good performance.
And of course, they all have their merits. So, what do you think are his strengths and his weaknesses going into the fight?
Weaknesses, he's a little bit one-dimensional. His merits, he's fucking one tough bastard. I've seen some footage of his fights, and he can take punishment, and he just keeps on coming. And he forces an high pace as well, so he's always going to be there. But I don't just want to win. I want to win in style. You know, for me to send a message out, you want to be putting fear in other featherweight boots. You want to beat these guys in style, show that you're a solid world champion. I know I've already proven that, but consistently beating guys like this, not in Warrington's league, beating him in style.
And what's it like being such a heavy favourite going into the fight? Is there a little expectation there? Or?
There's always expectation. Don't matter if it's 5 people or 5,000 people. You know, there's always going to be expectation. For a long road, getting to the world title level, I had my defences at the arena. I boxed Brunkner, I boxed Dan Gasser, I boxed Patrick Ireland, I boxed Rico Martinez, and I was always expected to win. But there were always these guys in opposite corner, and these guys were fringe world level opponents. You know, you could have easily defended your title against any of them names, and people that wouldn't have batted an eyelid. They'd either boxed for a world title themselves or there or thereabouts, and I always had an expectation to beat them guys because I was fighting at home. Like, it was almost like it's a given. Josh is definitely going to win these guys. You know, it's a fucking easy fight for this, but still had someone in opposite corner, you know. So there's an expectation there, but I think I'm experienced enough now to deal with them expectations and just focus on what needs to be done, and that's get the W.
And what about the talk going around that you're going to be heading back to Ellen Road?
You know what? It'd be nice, mate. It'd be lovely. I'm not too asked about the venue, to be honest with you. Listen, I'd love to go back there. Because we had a fantastic night back in May 2018, but I'm more bothered about the fight. I'm more bothered about it being for a world title, you know what I mean, or a big meaningful fight, you know what I mean. I really wanted to fight Santa Cruz, I really wanted to fight Valdez, them two have moved up. Now Gary Russell Jr. is the only one left. If it has to be in fucking Leisure Centre, I'm not bothered as long as we get it, you know what I mean. If it could be Ellen Road, that'd be a cherry on top. Or Headingley, you know, White Rhinos play, because there'll be no venue. But yeah, just that big fight, that's what I'm bothered about.
And obviously Ellen Road hosts Leeds United.
Yeah.
What are the differences, and what in the crowd in particular, between a football match and obviously you walking out for a boxing match?
Well, I've never walked out to a stadium whilst playing football, but you know, just getting the feeling there. I mean, walking out to Ellen Road, that'll be something what stays with me to rest till the day I die. You know, that unreal feeling, so many different emotions going through your mind, and the noise level. Obviously, one of their own going into battle, and you know, just a spectacle, because we've been building up for that fight for a long time. We spoke about going to Ellen Road for many years, and the rivalry with me and Lee Selby, obviously being Leeds' first world champion and all that. So there's a lot of that hanging in the balance, and I think it would have had an emotional night, and it wasn't just a fight, it was an occasion. A lot of people talk about that as just like being an occasion and somewhat special, some of the night we'll remember for a long time.
Obviously the unification is quite a big talking point. Is that something that weighs on your mind at all, or you try and block that out for now?
Yeah, I can't dwell on it too much. Obviously it's a focus, but I can't dwell on it too much, because I did that last time. I did that in the last camp, thinking, oh yeah, get through this one and then what's going to come. I was telling folk, oh yeah, we're going to be going to Vegas, we're going to New York, we're going to be unifying division, we're going to be fighting another one of the world champions, and then it didn't come about and everyone's disappointed. And it's like, that's not my fault, that's what I thought that were going to happen. So all I've done since then is learn to just focus on the next one in front and not get carried away with what could potentially happen. You know, just stay focused on what's in front of you next, and then we'll take it from there, because this is boxing and nothing is ever straightforward.
And you mentioned Valdez earlier.
Yeah.
How do you think he's going to fare at super featherweight level?
I think he's I mean, I don't think he's the tallest. I think he measures up about the same height as me, but it looks a thick set, so maybe it might be killing his body. So maybe better suited to a super feather, might be a bit stronger. You never know until you see, but he'll know from his camp. I reckon he'll do alright. But they've obviously got the guys then coming down from me even bigger weight, aren't they? So, you know, is he going to go back to his old? Because I think in the last couple of fights he's been trying to box a little bit more, being a bit more defensive. Now, because he's got a bit more oomph in his punches, he's going to want to like stand and trade with him. I don't know.
And just moving on, I just want your opinion on Kid Galahad, obviously, and another eliminator.
Yeah.
Do you think, after obviously his team complained, was that a surprise to you?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think it's just they probably paid a few more brown envelopes, you know, slipped someone a few more brown envelopes, and they paid a little bit more to push it along faster. You know, the guys, there were no number 1 and number 2. Number 3 was inactive. Number 4's Takoucht, and you look at some of the. I mean, number 7's Nathaniel May. He got beat by Jazza Dickens early in the year, and it's like the ranking system's a bit messed up, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I've always been able to get allowed to go straight into an final eliminator, probably because the other guys aren't too asked about moving for it. I don't know, but just it is what it is. He hasn't won his eliminator yet, so deal with that later down the line.
And just the final talking point, Josh. Obviously, Nigel Benn has been in the news recently, shall we say?
Yeah.
What's your take on his return?
Leave it to your son, Nigel. I mean, in my opinion, you know, you've had your career, you've had your go. Don't like it when you know, come back after, especially after so long. Don't like to see boxers come back after like a year out. Never mind, bloody, however long. 23 years. Wow. Not the same. You're not the same guy. Not the same guy, not the same fighter. The body's not been punched for so long. Yeah, you might have sparred, but it's different when you don't spar with 8-ounce gloves on without an head guard on. It's a different kettle of fish altogether. I don't think he has to prove out to anybody. He retired with, you know, legacy intact. You know, I've heard my mates' dads talk about Ben, how he's still the favourite fighters. I don't think he needs to come back. You know, he's got his own. He needs his own closure. I don't think you can find it. Just let it be, and that's I think a lot of fighters struggle with when they retire. There's never going to be anything what ever fills that void, but you've just got to get along with that. That's just it. You know, you have your time, and that's it. You're only 21 once. You can't be 21 again. You know what I mean? You can't fucking change your name and change your age. Sorry, when you're like 51 and say I want to be 21 again. It doesn't happen. So just just enjoy the fact that you had a good career and let it be. This sport is fucking dangerous, you know what I mean? And I can imagine that when it's all said and done, you want to feel that buzz again, you want to feel what it's like to be under the lights again, but there's other ways to go about it. There's other ways to go about it.
Do you think it's a case of him risking his legacy a little bit with the taking that?
I don't think so, because I think like Hatton had that comeback fight, didn't he? And no one will ever think about that. No one really ever think about that. But those who were a younger generation, probably in the teens or maybe late teens or early 20s, are worried about their parents talking about Nigel Benn, and they'll probably look at him in a different light now. So yeah, they might have seen bits of media of him in his old fights with Eubank and McLennan or whatever, but they're going to expect something now, and if they see him live, you know, 55-year-old, that's going to be imprinted on their mind. Then and they're going to know Nigel Benn as that. So for the older generation, they'll just think, you know, what's he doing, and they'll remember his glory days. But for the younger generation or another audience that's tried to capture, it will do him no favours, I don't think.
Thank you very much, Josh. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for your patience.